ways of racing. Now, I actually met you through Motorsports for the Masses. It was, I think it was 2021. The end of that year was the first Rockingham event I attended. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really know much of what was going on. I met Rob through that, and then I met you. And then earlier this year, of course, Rockingham had more events. I got to know you more. I got to know everyone involved with Motorsports for the Masses more. So, I mean, I've had a blast coming to the Motorsports for the Masses events. And, you know, I was at first, I don't really know the status of Motorsports for the Masses. I do know that, like, of course, there's an event coming October the 7th through 9th, which we'll get into. But whenever I saw the announcement that Rob made early on in the year, I was just, I was very sad for everyone. I was just like, man, I don't know what's going to happen and what's going to be going on. So could you talk to me about like how you got involved with Motorsports for the Masses, what it stands for, and maybe like what went on this year with the group?
Sure. So Motorsport for the Masses is a private company owned by Rob Bowling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really sets us apart from a club sport, like a Sports Car Club of America or a NASA, not the spaceships, the National Auto Sport Association. Those are clubs, and they're not for profit. They're not trying to make money. They're paid for by the members of the clubs. And there's private organizations like Rob's. He sought out, he kind of, so what keeps a lot of people from interest in autocross, sometimes it'll be that you don't get to drive a lot in a day. So at a typical local event, I only get 4 runs at ZMAX on a nationals level course. So I spend my whole Saturday for 4 minutes of driving, which it takes, it's kind of an acquired taste of, wow, I wasted my whole Saturday to go drive for 4 minutes. And it's like, you kind of can't go into it with that attitude.
Yeah.
You're with your friends, you're having fun, and the competition it's good competition. And that's part of the sport too, is that you don't get to know the course intimately. You got to figure it out as quick as you can, because every run is precious. There's guys at Lincoln who their day was over on day one. You cannot win a national tour in one day. They coned away their runs, or they DNF'd, or, and then it's over. You're just piecing it together. So the urgency of getting off the line and getting it done is with autocross, where track days, time trials, they'll give you 10, 20-minute sessions, but it's at higher speeds. It's at higher risks. When I first got my Mustang, I had no interest. Well, of course I want to go fast. Of course I want to go on a racetrack. I did my first track day, and I'm just like, holy cow, these walls are so close. They come at you so fast. I cannot afford to wreck my daily driver at one of these events. Now, they do sell track insurance, but that's another $200 worth of expense to your weekend, on top of, a $300-400 entry fee to insure your car. So you're looking at $1,000 weekend to go to a track, versus you spend $50 at your local autocross. It's a lot cheaper. So there's a lot of people out there that do autocross exclusively because it's what they can afford in, not just money, but their appetite for risk. So Rob Bowling saw a huge gap between your $50 4 minutes at autocross and your $400 4 hours at a track day. So he attempted to create a format that allowed people to get closer to the track day level of experience of driving time without all the added risk of the track. So similar to an autocross, the worst you can do, there's going to be barriers and stuff way far off the courses, but the vast majority of autocross damage is cones. And really a lot of it you buff it out. It literally comes out. It's just a little scuff in your paint. You buff it out and it's fine. Whereas a track day, you go to Charlotte Motor Speedway SCCA track nights, and there's 3 cars that go home on a flatbed, and that sucks. So that's kind of where Rob wanted to stand, create a series that gave guys like me the chance to really, you at autocross, you can't learn car control at an autocross at a reasonable pace, like just doing it for 4 minutes in a day. So being able to go out to a Motorsport for the Masses event and get 40 minutes, 10 times the seat time in a day, you could see why a guy like me got so fast so quickly, because I was able to practice. And after my first event, I'm like, dang, Rob, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this off the ground. This is huge. This has huge potential for people like me who struggle to, they want to learn the car control skills, weren't quite getting it just by going to autocross. I had to work my tail off. I was going to autocrosses within like a 6-hour radius. I was like investing my time just to get some time to drive. Whereas this Motorsport for the Masses now got me where I wanted to be, and then some too, because it's not just the driving, it's the community that we've created, putting these events on, all the people that we've met. It's been so much fun. So that we've done over 30 events in the last 3 years, I think. And we were hoping it would take off. And it's been really challenging with the world conditions, with COVID, with whatever this economy is, with rising fuel, parts shortages, tire shortages. And there's just not as many people as we had hoped wanting to jump into this. And it just ultimately, Rob can't afford to, subsidize everybody's hobbies. He's got to make money. He had an idea and he put it out there as he wants to make money at it. And it's at least got to pay for itself. He knows he's not going to get rich on this, just like I know as an SCC autocrosser, I'm not going to make much money at it, if any. We're doing it because we love it, but he has this vision for helping people learn this motorsport, bringing people together. And, it's just been tough. He's got to pay his bills. So we came to a point where we couldn't continue. The money was just gone, couldn't afford to re-up the event insurance and cover it ourselves. So we took a break. We were looking back at, what did we do? We scaled up a little quickly. We kind of just learned a lot of things. We did a lot of good things from it. But there were also some other things that we could stand to improve on. So we've been, even though it's been quiet on the event side, we get together, we talk about it, we work on things, because we love it. We just cannot wait to get back out and do events again. So we have been working on it behind the scenes, figuring out the best way to attack it, the best way to make it cost effective for us. Because we tried so hard for growth, getting as far as we could. But we got to make it sustainable. So we weren't planning any other events this year, but fortunately, we got contacted by the North Carolina E30 Club, NC E30, and they are the biggest E30 club in the country. They actually hold the world record for the largest gathering of BMW E30s. Wow. Yeah, so it's cool. They've been doing this event for 14 years, but it's rode on the coattails of something else. It's always, they've done it at a NASA track day at VIR. They've done it at Ace Speedway in North Carolina. They've gone to some motorsport activity that's already happening, and they have their big car show. It's just a bunch of BMWs showed up, and that's cool. So now this year they wanted to get to Rockingham Speedway, and who better to organize and run their track activities than the first group that went back to Rockingham
Yeah.
after it had been closed so long. So Rob knows the track in and out. He's got a plan for him, and hopefully the event does well and makes some money. Makes Rob a little bit of a safety net, hopefully, to start off next season, which we are planning a next season, and build us some connections and contacts too. This show's been happening 14 years, and a lot of people know about it, and that's another one of the struggles that we had for Motorsport for the Masses. We could only do so much in promoting and getting it out there. But also there's a lot of well-established names that people would rather, especially as costs rise, they're going to be more likely to support what they know than go try something else out, especially if they're strapped for cash and, to travel, and they're just going to do what's most convenient for them.
Definitely. And I mean, from going to the Motorsports for Masses events, I've definitely made connections and friends. And I've always had a blast coming to the Rockingham events and being able to drive my own car around the track too. I was like, y'all gave me the opportunity. I'm like, yeah, man, I want to go out there too. So
yeah,
I got to do that. And of course, you're my driving instructor on Little Rock. And for those that don't know this, I'm sure y'all have seen the in-car footage of that. Peter was holding the camera while I was going around, while basically telling me about the course. But yeah, I'm really excited for, what's going on October 7th through the 9th. I don't know. I probably won't be able to go to Friday and Saturday, but I'll try to make it on Sunday that day. But cool. I'm hoping that it goes great. And, I'm very excited to hear that news. And of course, the Motorsports for the Masses events have been well organized. Every single time I've came, it's gotten better and better, more organized, more basically, here's what we're going to do. We have a set plan. And then of course with this, the High Pursuit Chase Challenge from earlier on in the year, that was an insane day. Of course it rained, but it was also really fun. There's the bracket challenge and everything. So that was a blast. Also, if you haven't seen that video, go check it out.
I thought I would only do it because of the seat time, that I would get to drive my car as much as humanly possible. But I find now these days that I don't even care if I get 1 10-minute session. It's seeing all the other people get something out of this, and everybody gets something different from it. But just enabling people to find motorsports as safely and affordably as possible. And that's what we're out to do.
Definitely. And I mean, I've seen people come to the events, and and with more track time, they got better and better and better. And another thing that I thought was interesting too, like whenever I saw y'all out at Little Rock, like at first I was like, well, they're going around the corners pretty fast, and it doesn't look too fast. But then when I got behind the wheel I wasn't behind the wheel, but I did a ride along. For some reason, I don't remember his name at the moment, but I'll put it up on the screen if possible. He took me around in his BMW, which there was a lot of BMWs that people.
Eric, that's Eric. Yeah, Eric.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, and he was flying. I'm just over here like, like this.
Yep.
And, of course, I was trying to record and doing that. It made me kind of like shook up afterwards. I was sore. I'm like, I don't see how these people do it.